What keeps me up at night is the fear of boredom, student boredom. We all know the feeling. It's sometimes called Professional Development Day or a bad teacher conference. It seems too often the focus is on techniques and tips to help students strategize. Help them strategize ways to beat a test or pass an external exam that they don't truly see the value of. But we, parents, school community, teachers, rarely look at how students see the game of high school. Why are we in a situation where the majority of students in high schools start each semester prepared to tolerate the learning, but are not excited about it? At least at my school, we all seem to just accept that since top colleges want IB scores and SAT scores, and parents want top college bumper stickers on their cars, that everyone should just tolerate the boredom, that we should somehow all just accept that that's what the daily grind of school is. But when I look over at the elective classes, the arts, design tech, robotics, I see smiling faces. I see determination to finish something that was started. And not just to finish it to hand it in, but to truly make it great. And I see collaboration, not just because teamwork is written on a rubric, but because without everyone contributing, there's no way the end product could be delivered. And what are students learning in those electives? They learn how to plan, adjust, reflect, and produce. It's less about students trying to show us what they know, i.e. memorize, but rather about the experience of teams struggling to produce something authentic, but that they're engaged in. Failing quickly and often, but adjusting quickly and often too, because they see the value in learning from the mistake. They see that by overcoming, they can reach the end goal, which they are excited about, and that their product will be seen by more than just the teacher. It'll be more than just an A or B on a rubric, but a product they can be proud of and remember. It's project-based learning, or PBL, which has gotten me excited again as a teacher. This, my final coetail project, is my exploration into PBL, my first attempt. My goals are both selfish, to enjoy my job more, and student-centered, to have students enjoy period 1 through 5 more, and not just enjoy school for the extracurriculars or time with their friends. Ironically, for me this all started with the Professional Development Day with an inquiry focus and a session on PBL. I convinced myself that projects with an authentic audience that were designed and implemented by students themselves would be the best way to bring life back to my classroom. I convinced myself that if students enjoyed the project enough, the content, the knowledge, the learning of the stuff would come naturally to the student at some future time. I convinced myself that at high school, all we were trying to do is light the fire or spark the match, not develop subject experts. Because if a student loves learning, they don't need to be taught. This is Jakarta. There are social needs here, as you can imagine. There are also a lot of social enterprises, defined as organizations that are directly involved in the sale of goods and services to a market, but that have a specific social objective that serve as its primary purpose. To make this class work, I knew I needed my students to meet social entrepreneurs and work with them on something authentic. I knew this had to be more than just PowerPoints and case studies about social enterprises. So I crisscrossed Jakarta and I met people. I met social entrepreneurs. All were cool. Most were excited about ways to collaborate with young people. Most were still young people themselves. I gave them the spiel. I told them my students might fail and not bring any meaningful value to their businesses, but that I wanted to make school more fun. And Samantha accepted my proposal, and she agreed to work with my class. Students were told that their project for the semester would be to propose a solution to one of Samantha's business's most pressing issues. Samantha's business is organic farming, and the farmers that she employs receive more than just a wage. They are treated like family. Students needed to first meet Samantha and discover what issues were most challenging for her at this time. This is where my coetail connections really kicked in. Through reading my peers' blog posts and through direct correspondence with a few of them via email, coupled with discussions with colleagues in my own school, I guided my students into the world of design thinking. In design thinking, those wishing to solve problems need to first empathize with their users, in this case, Samantha and her business. Students collaborated using Google Docs and voted on questions in real time using clickers. and they came up with excellent questions for Samantha. When she came to school, there was a buzz in the classroom. It was different than the regular lessons that day. In fact, it was different than any lesson so far in my career. Students conducted the empathy interview with Samantha and had notes and ideas in droves. It was cool to see. They began planning and talking and thinking about solutions. They made mind maps. They did market research amongst the student body. And they asked me if they could set up a meeting with our head of our school cafeteria and catering service. They were doing, and it wasn't because I told them to. When Samantha came back a few weeks later, they presented their proposals to her. Some were detailed, some were simplistic but practical, and some students lacked the motivation to truly give their best effort. Those descriptors sound like most assessments we mark, don't they? But this was different. There was someone real. There was an authentic audience, and the students knew they had to step up if they were to impress her. Samantha listened and was impressed, and even asked to take a picture together with us at the end. We are now helping Samantha market and distribute her products to new target customers, with students in the driver's seat. There is so much that I've learned during this project, but let's hear from the students first.
Well, the things that kind of went well were, well, I guess for the learning is that like we actually were able to like meet someone who's doing a social enterprise, which gives us not a basic background of how it actually operates.
To build on that, it's really great that we were able to work with an actual social entrepreneur, in this case Samantha from Blue Boots. Being able to actually speak with her, talk about the stuff we learned in class and what she's doing, seeing how these class concepts mix with the real life social enterprises. It was really helpful to kind of create the real life connection between those things. And I guess a challenge, I guess is just, at least I can't really speak for the other students, but for me, I've never really done anything like this before, so it's kind of going into a new place, trying something different. I've always wanted to take a course kind of like this, where it's really business oriented. There's a lot of communication with an actual business owner. Yeah, it's really interesting.
I guess you could say like it's like learning a new subject. I guess. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
like a new subject altogether. It's not like
Just one.
going to the next grade of math or next grade of English studies. It's like a whole new kind of thing. I strongly believe that education is much more bolstered in the student's mind when it's like real stuff being put in front of them. For example, if you're in a business course, for example, to apply the theories you learned in class to a real business, and having that aspect of the real business owner coming in and talking about social entrepreneurship with us, that kind of like really increased the I guess the flow of knowledge, and considering that it's the students who who kind of outline what gets done. Obviously, kind of the teacher in the form of an advisor is kind of needed to make sure the students are on track.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe Blue Boots is good for a first time example.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's kind of cliche, like an environmentally friendly farm that benefits a local village. It's not super interesting. I don't know.
Yep.
Like it's definitely intriguing and stuff, but it's not really interesting to the point where it's like, wow, I've never thought of that before. You know.
So what have I learned in this project? I've learned that connecting with others is important. Coetail has done a really good job of helping me kind of get out of my own little box and reach out to others. Not only do I get a lot of good ideas, but it helps me not reinvent the wheel. And secondly, I've learned that students do need choice. They need these authentic projects. This is kind of the concept of an internship at school, and it's a way to build their skills of planning, reflecting, adjusting, and producing, and not just trying to memorize facts and memorize sort of knowledge. So they need the balance of IB, AP academic courses and these sort of project-based courses so that they get these real meaningful experiences before they go to college, before they get out into the world. So thanks for watching, and yeah, hope you guys enjoy.